Hi, my name is Mike Holtz. I'm a student at Staples High School in Westport next door. And I was just wondering, across the pond in Syria, thousands of people have been murdered by an oppressive dictator and continue to be as we speak. The United States has said that, that chemical weapons and use of them would be the last straw, would be the final line, and there's now evidence to suggest the government has used chemical weapons. I'm just wondering, obviously we don't want to get involved in another war, but our allies in Europe and the Middle East have begun, supplying weapons to the opposition. People have talked about a no-fly zone so the government can't bomb their own people. I'm just wondering why the United States hasn't taken action, if there's action we could take and should take, in your opinion. Just on a bit of an unrelated note, talking about gun control, I'm the president of the Young Democrats at Staples, and after Newtown, we met with the Young Republicans Club, and we talked about gun control and mental health, school safety, all of those things. And there were a lot of things we disagreed on, but there were also a few things we agreed on. Background checks, gun registry, closing the gun hole loophole, a ton of different things like that. And if we could, a group of high school kids could come together, discuss, debate, talk about the different alternatives, and agree on some common sense reforms, why can't the United States Congress?
It's a very good question.
We're more mature.
We may be at the fifth grade level in our ability to play nicely with others. Syria is a very difficult and serious topic.
I do not, and I don't think many of my constituents have any appetite at all for boots on the ground, military involvement in another conflict in an Arab world, in an Arab country. We talk a lot about the deficits, the $2 trillion or so that went to our conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan, which at best are going to end up being a draw, were not an experience that I think any of us want to relive. And Syria, unlike Libya, which is bad enough, is particularly complicated because you've got Sects and S-E-C-T-S, and issues like Lebanon and Israel and Iran right there that make it a lot more complicated than Libya. Right now we are providing non-lethal aid to the rebels, and at least right now, and I understand how absolutely horrible and tragic it is that there's been 70,000 lives lost there. Right
now, that's as far as a member of Congress as I'm willing to go, because I don't want to see us deeply enmeshed there. And by the way, as we learned in Benghazi, some of the people who are now trying to overthrow Assad, some of them are Democrats and want a more liberal society and are on the side of the angels. Some of them are very, very bad people. I don't want our weaponry in their hands. So where we are right now, frankly, is where I'm personally comfortable. I also will mention, for the good and welfare, Libya was troubling to me. In the end, it worked out okay. I think the president made the right move. But as a member of Congress, it was the first conflict where I was a member. One of the things that would be smart for this country to do would be for the Congress to reassert its constitutional authority on conflict and war making, and maybe shift some of the balance away from the president. I mean, we haven't declared war in a million years in this country, and I'd like to see that shift come back to provide the people's direct representatives with a little bit more say-so on when we get involved in that. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here tonight. This is exactly what I hoped it would be. Lots of different opinions. As I always do, learned quite a bit tonight, and some of you will walk out of here agreeing with me, some of you will walk out of here disagreeing with me, but I hope that you'll be as proud as I am that we have this discussion, and because it's what allows me to do my job. So thank you, and God bless you all.